Disney Speedstorm will be a free-to-play racing game developed by Gameloft. You can, however, now buy it through Early Access Founders Pack, and it features various Disney and Pixar characters from properties such as Mickey Mouse and Friends, Monsters Inc., Mulan, Hercules, and more. Racing vehicles on tracks themed after worlds of their films and franchises. There are a wealth of game modes to choose from: Season Tour, Starter Circuit, Limited Events, Ranked Multiplayer, Regulated Multiplayer, Local Free Play, and Private Track. And this will keep you playing for hours. The fact that certain events run for a limited period means you'll keep coming back to unlock more races and items. Disney Speedstorm for the most part requires an internet connection to play the various game modes. However, local free play is always an option should you not have access. You will obviously have to take into account that if you don't have an internet connection, then you will be limited as to what is on offer, as you won't be able to unlock or customize your characters or karts. Speaking of the characters, these are unlocked by gaining shards through races or by buying them from the shop using credits that can be acquired through races. Once you've acquired enough of a particular character's shards, you unlock them and then can begin to level them up by gaining even more shards. Your racer will need to be a certain level through upgrades in order for you to progress through the higher races and unlock more rewards. You can also unlock pit crew members that boost your character's racing stats, and each character will have their own unique pit crew members that are relevant to their franchise. The Season Pass is where many of these unlockables can be found, and season coins used to acquire items in the shop expire at the end of the season. You'll have daily and weekly missions, again something that will keep you coming back to play the game more regularly. That might see you having to use a skill, for example 8 times in a single race by activating your manual boost a certain amount of times, or simply by winning races a certain amount of times. The music is fast, energetic drum and bass type tunes that have been remixed with licensed Disney songs. I have to admit, when certain songs drop during races, it really gets you pumped up. So hats off to them for doing such a good job with the music. And let's not forget the characters themselves who are vocal throughout the races and add that Disney charm that fans will love. The 9 levels themselves that are present from the start all have a different feel. However, once you keep coming back to the game, things do start to feel a bit repetitive. Luckily, the game does add certain conditions for each race, so it's not always just about the winning, but also about meeting certain conditions. One of the most tricky race modes I found was Last One Standing, a race with no end, instead you have to survive. Sounds easy on paper, but the game barely tells you what to do. At the beginning of each match, you'll notice you and your opponents have a few drones floating behind your karts. These drones are basically the number of lives you have. Being in last place for just a few seconds will cause you to lose your drones. Once you end up in last place, there will be a red circle around your car and enemy drones will prepare to strike. You only have a few seconds to reach the next character in front of you and stop being in last place. If you can't get past another racer in time, one of your drones will be destroyed and you'll be sent to first place immediately, which is not necessarily a good thing, since then you'll be the target of everyone else who's behind you. The best way to secure a win in Last One Standing, which I found, was by dashing into opponents when close by and using your skills as much as possible. If you see a shortcut, don't think twice about taking it, as any chances to get ahead in the races are necessary for survival. It's pretty easy to stay ahead early on, but once you reach the top 3, things get more tricky. It's ideal to have at least one drone on you by the end of the race so that you can easily surpass the others if you lose a drone, and then try to keep your position in first place to outlast the remaining opponent. Once you know the rules, it becomes easier, but it's still quite a challenge being the last one standing in this mode. Disney Speedstorm takes a lot of inspiration from Mario Kart 8, but adds its own twist to things. In particular, I appreciate that in order for characters to get a speed burst at the start of a race, instead of hitting the button at the same time, each character has a meter that you have to time just right in order to get a boost or an extra boost at the start. You'll have items that you can use to get the upper hand over your racers, however, some of these items feel absolutely useless. If you're struggling in last place, you won't really have many options that will help you to catch up to the first place like you would in Mario Kart, so staying ahead of the pack from the get-go is really the order of the day for this game. Your characters also each have their own unique special moves. Donald Duck, for example, throws fists of rage, knocking out any racer that he comes into contact with, whereas Mike from Monsters Inc. drops doors down which he can use to teleport ahead. Controls are relatively easy to learn. Personally, I would prefer to have certain functions on different inputs, and although you have a secondary choice with the button layout, it's not really ideal to have your attack items mapped to the right analog stick. The acceleration and brakes are mapped to the ZR and ZL buttons respectively. You shoot your weapons with the X button, use your boost meter with the B button, and jump with Y. It takes a bit of getting used to, but once you've got it down, it will become second nature, although as mentioned before, it would have been even better if you could map certain functions to, for example, the L and R buttons. Your items also have secondary functions, so if you hold down the item button, you'll use a stronger version which can act differently to the base version. These can be fired in front of you and behind you. The game also features steering assist and auto acceleration, which is always a helpful addition for the more casual or younger gamer. I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch, so visually the game obviously won't look as good as the PlayStation or Xbox. However, the visuals for the Switch are really muddy and washed out, which is a real shame for an otherwise enjoyable game. With so much happening on screen, it can be hard to tell what you're doing, and this could be the difference between winning and losing. Hopefully Gameloft will work on improving the Switch version with updates so the game runs more smoothly and looks even better. Like I said, there is a lot happening at the best of times, and when you hit enemy players, sometimes the action will trigger a slowdown effect, which can at times feel jarring as it puts you off what you're about to do. Luckily, this can be turned off in the options, so if it's not for you like it wasn't for me, at least you know the option is there. For me, Disney Speedstorm is not going to give Mario Kart a run for its money, but don't get me wrong, this is a fun racing title. It's worth also pointing out that this game is in early access, so there will be some bugs or slight issues here and there. However, like with Disney Dreamlight Valley, which operates on a similar model, also made by Gameloft, there will be updates and improvements made to the game as it goes on. With the inclusion of all these Disney characters, levels and themes, no doubt more will be added in future updates. The game is a must play for Disney fans. It's an easy to pick up and play game. It is cross-play and has a cross-save feature, meaning you can save your data across platforms. I guess the question really is, should you buy Disney Speedstorm for the Switch? Bear in mind, this game will eventually be a free-to-play game. When that will be, we don't know yet, but if it's one that you want to play now and you have another option besides the Switch, I'd maybe say to go and get it there. If the Switch is your only option, then this isn't a bad version of the game. However, you'll just need to be aware that the visuals don't always look as good as they should, and the game can feel a little sluggish at times when there is a lot going on. It's a great option for younger gamers who love racing games and just want to see some familiar faces. I've personally had a lot of fun with the game despite its downsides. It does lack the polish that is so evident with its competition. However, it's one that I'd recommend if you're looking for a fun new racer with some Disney characters. The Disney Speedstorm Standard Founders Pack is available now on the eShop, priced at $28.99 in the UK and $29.99 in the US. I will leave a description of everything you get in the Standard Founders Pack in the descriptions below, so check that out if you want to see what you're paying for. There is also an Ultimate and Deluxe Founders Pack available. And remember, this game will be free to play at some point, so this is only if you want to play the game right now. Anyway, Disney Speedstorm is available now on all consoles. Thank you for watching the review. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, I'm gonna race circles around you guys. Watch. Out of my way!
Oh, that's good.
Enjoy! What's this?
I'll try.
That was crazy! Yes,